Ooh, one. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Jason J. Daniels show. It is coffee talk time. I am, first of all, I need more places to put my stuff. I am, let me just drop this here. I'm doing it afternoon edition. I know last night I said that I would be taking some time off for vacation, and I am. I'm getting there, but some stuff came out last night and overnight. It's like blown up. I saw this story last night, but did not get a chance. Oh, I didn't finish my standby here. I didn't finish my graphics anyway. Um, I did not have a chance to get into it because I was talking about Virginia and other stuff. And man, Gavin is starting to ramp up his bullshit. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about with the state, but but I wanted to jump on this story about Lake Tahoe. Man, I am in Northern California, so Lake Tahoe is a hop, skip, and a jump from me. It's like 2 hours or something, maybe two and a half. Reno, Lake Tahoe, and then you could hit Vegas from driving from here. That's a lot longer. But everybody in my area, they either go to San Francisco or they go to Tahoe. It's like a thing, right? It's almost like Tahoe is almost like the inn people go to Tahoe, right? If you're a vacationer, if you like to, breathe that cold mountain air, it actually is a lot of fun. So up there it is mountainy. If you've never been to Lake Tahoe, you should know that there's a lake. All right, there's a lake that's called Lake Tahoe? The lake is the Tahoe Lake. Yeah. So there's obviously a community that's been there forever. Lake Tahoe is like a historic place, right? So, but we have politicians up there. Clearly, they decided to get us all involved in their mountain politics. They're going wild up there. Those politicians, those polls are going wild. Breaking news happened with the mayor and with the mayor pro tem, who I guess is like the vice mayor or the mayor that is in charge. The mayor can't execute the duties. But anyway, so welcome to Jason J. Daniels show. That's the topic today. Wanted to hit you on the drive time. If you're going to get some lunch, you could hear this in the car. Plug your phone in, your aux cord or your Bluetooth. Like my car's a Bluetooth. I'm sure yours does too. Um, so I wanted to get in before I got to shut things down for the vacation. Um, but I wanted to jump on. So let's do it. So the mayor of some of this I'm some of this story I'm discovering with you. I'm gonna do a little sound check here. Here we go. Let's see here. Okay, we sound really good, man. Guys, I want to say thank you for joining me. You guys are awesome. Um, let's see here. Pin this to my profile. Pin. Okay, cool. So we have to always. I like to pin my X shows. I like to pin my shows to the top of the X profile. Now, I'm not trying to big time you with my glasses. It's just early for me. If you're on the East Coast, it's 3 o'clock, almost four. For me, I'm just starting my day. All right. I happen to have a day off. I'm just starting my day. So when I walk around the house, my studio, obviously, my palatial studios is in an undisclosed location, Northern California. When I walk around my back cave, sometimes it's too freaking bright, man. I got windows here, very bright. My whole place has windows. So when I walk out of my cave in the morning, I'm like, oh my God. So I actually wear glasses sometimes in the mornings when I walk around and have my coffee. And I'm having my coffee. It was a late night for me. I was up doing editing and stuff. Thanks for watching again, guys. I'll just say really quick, my optometrist, I talked to my optometrist when I went in and got my new glasses. And I told her, hey, I wear my sunglasses in the morning. Is that freaky? Am I like, is there a problem by losing my vision? I just can't handle it, And and she's like, no, stop worrying about it. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. So it just means I'm weird. Okay. So I'll try to take these off. But anyway, kid, so let's just get right to it, man. So Lake Tahoe polls have gone wild. This is a crazy story. There is an individual. Her name is, I'm going to share my screen here. Her name is Tamara Wallace. So last night this story broke. I saw it and I was like, okay, wow, I got to talk about that when I get a chance. And then I woke up and boom, it's everywhere, man, everywhere. It was I think San Francisco, A small San Francisco website covered it, but it's everywhere. And now San Francisco Bay Area, they do cover Lake Tahoe stuff. The Sacramento media covers that because it's all kind of connected. But interesting stuff. So I ran a Google search. I'm like, oh my god, and I found an article that I thought was probably the most interesting one, and it's the San Francisco Standard. Let's just get into this story. So, sorry, I got to clear my throat here. Okay, so here's Tamara, man. So here's the story. So the mayor, she was stealing from the church. Like that's the devil's dealings, man. What who steals from a church? And I guess over a period of time, maybe years. Now the story is obviously piecemeal. It's going to come out. Hold on, I have a technical thing here. Clearly, it's piecemeal. Something was my cords was falling. Clearly, it's a piecemeal story. We're just getting the drips of it. And the mayor, I guess, outed herself. Said she tried to commit suicide because of the guilt. Okay, we'll take this off now. And she wrote a letter and sent it to the media. Now, I am not going to. First of all, I'm not going to mock her mental illness because she's clearly crazy as fuck. I mean, this is crazy, right? I'm going to be real. Let's just call it for what it is. That's what we do. We have to call crazy out, especially when these crazy people are leading cities. They're politicians running cities. And so this cat here, the scarecrow, whoever, this cat here next to her, he's the mayor pro term. And so, which is like, I guess, the vice mayor. I'm not really quite sure how their politics work up there because local rules, city councils, they have general rules and charters they work with, but they also have little intricacies. And that's fine because the regions are different and everything. But this guy here got arrested. Okay, so she outs herself for embezzling church money for years, tries to kill herself according to her statement. I guess we don't have a medical report or there isn't any kind of, I guess, substantiation yet. Now we'll read this article here, which I thought had a lot of information in it. But so she says she tried to kill herself. Clearly it didn't work. So instead she wrote a letter, sent it to every media outlet she could send it to, outing herself and then saying, but I'm now in treatment, I'm now in therapy, and I'm in essentially a psych ward. Okay, so I don't know if she's been missing in action or what, but that's the story. That's the headline. And then this cat here, the scarecrow, he apparently got into some sort of a fight with a restaurant employee, and he was arrested yesterday for assault. So the day the news comes out that the mayor of South Lake Tahoe, I guess it's called South Lake Tahoe or whatever, we find out the mayor is doing the devil's work and tried to kill herself, which is no laughing matter. If that's real, it's terrible. Now, this is just her word, so we have to say allegedly. We don't know. And maybe in the article, I'm sure the reporters, there's so many reporters now on this because it's becoming a statewide story. And then I'm also seeing some nationwide websites may pick it up. That's just the way it works. So I'm assuming a really awesome reporter would get right on this and like verify some of the things she's saying. Now, an investigation has been opened with the DA and they're like telling the reporters no comment. And I think the church issued a statement. We'll look into that too. But the sense is that now I guess she was an employee or some sort of a bishop or something in this church. We'll get into it. But the the conventional wisdom is she's been doing this for a long time, which could be a lot of years. I think she's clearly looking for mercy. Now, the other side of the story is if you know the story, you might be saying to yourself, well, Jason's not telling the full side of the story. Here's the other side of the story. And I'm not, this is with all due respect, I'm going to say this because I'm assuming this is definitely true. I believe she lost a son or a child. I'll have to get into it. Died from fentanyl, possibly, and she was suffering from depression from that. I mean, goddamn, my heart goes out, right? That's nothing anybody wants. And I know somebody who has a new friend recently who has experienced that. It's terrible. So I can understand. So no, I'm not judging her or her statements, or I'm not looking to the politics of it. I'm just talking about the reality of it. That's a terrible thing that can make anybody, lose their mind. Yeah, I get that. So as far as stealing money for years, I don't know if there's any connection to that, but there's a correlation she's saying to her her depression from that. So I can respect that. So let's look into this article here. So the mayor, okay, so what the fuck is it? Yeah, right on. San Francisco Standard. I like their style here. What is happening with South Lake Tahoe's politicians? The mayor admitted to embezzlement. The mayor pro term was arrested, Scarecrow, and it's unclear what happens next. I know what happens next. These fuckers go to jail. That's what happens next. And then they're going to have to shift everybody up in the council because I think these councils, a lot of the small ones, have a running mayor, right? So like a rotating mayor, like a cycle. So every year or something, you become the mayor, or they will vote on it. And the mayor in these places doesn't have necessarily a lot more power than the city council. It's like one more vote. But let's see here. Okay, so Lake Tahoe is known for its clear sapphire waters, but the landscape is dark and murky in the halls of power on the Alpine. Okay, it's a little much. But this is dark. This is a dark story. South Lake Tahoe this week got hit with the 1-2 punch of revelations and scandal. Okay, I like the writer's style. Who wrote this? Garrett, I like your style, baby. Oh, George also helped. Additional reporting by George. 1-2 punch of revelations. Mayor Tamara Wallace admitted to and is being criminally investigated for embezzling funds from a local church. In a stunning letter she published Sunday, I thought, okay, she published it. Maybe she put it online. I'll have to look. I don't know. I haven't checked her X account. I do. So I'm sure she has one. She said she attempted suicide last month, September the 11th, on her birthday. Not a day where great things happen. September the 11th is a cursed day, dude. Mm. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate that. My name is Jason J. Daniel. We talk politics, sports, and stuff. I do have other interviews lined up that's not politics. Trust me, we do more than that. We do true crime, and this is right in that alley. Thanks for watching. By the way, if you're new, I normally do like a midday show, 12-ish. This one started a little late. Then I do an evening show, 6 to 7. Sometimes I do both. Sometimes I do one or the other. I'm trying to work on that schedule for you guys, but life is wild. But you can always watch my archive later on. Subscribe and follow. That way you can get the archive. So the day after Wallace exposed her pain and transgressions, it's very verbose, news broke that Mayor Pro Tem Cody Bass, what's up, Cody Bass? It's a fighting name right there. What are they? I can imagine Cody Bass going into like this wild, snowy bar with all these scoundrels in there, and like Wolverine's fighting somebody in a cage, like that kind of thing, right? Like in a Wolverine movie. So apparently, being a restaurant employee is a tough gig with these cats. It's unclear what happens next. Yeah, I know it's clear. They go to jail. Okay, here's the story on the politics of it. Wallace and Bass retained their seats, and plan to attend the October 21 City Council meeting, according to city spokesman. That's kind of, not sure, kind of odd there. Let's see how that's written. They retained their seats and plan to attend. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So, so they're clearly still on board. They haven't resigned. Is that what they mean? And they plan to attend. What did they send a statement out? We'll be there. I think she's just meaning that this Cherie Juarez, that's misinformation. That's weird. Word salad. Wallace unburdened herself in a letter that was published in the Tahoe Daily Tribune. Oh, there's the letter. Let's see if we can get to it. Okay, interesting. Oh, it didn't switch. Let's see here. Let me go to it opened up a new tab. Sorry, guys. Let's share that tab. Okay, cool. Here it is. Here's the letter. Tahoe Daily Tribune. I've never read this. Now, when I've been to Tahoe a number of times, like these are the little papers in the 7-Eleven you see. It's a small place. Mayor Tamara Wallace confesses wrongdoings, challenges and tell-all letter to the Lake Tahoe community. Okay, let's read it, ma'am. Let's do this. Now, I'm not mocking her. I want you to know that. My style is, very sarcastic, but because she's dealing with some things here, look, I want to be I want to be fair. My goal is not to just, I don't know, overdo it, right? I mean, there's entertainment because I try to keep this fun and entertaining, and this is me. This is who I am. If you were sitting with me at a bar watching a football game, this is what you get. If you were hanging out with me at the water cooler talking about politics, this is what you get from me. This is who I am. But I'm only human, so I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm going to read her words, but I'm not trying to infer any mocking of her situation, because There's mental illness involved, suicidality, and apparently she lost a family member. So I'm, now if you're in Lake Tahoe and you're mad as hell at her for stealing church money, I feel that that is the devil's work. That I think there's certain things that you just kind of not do, and to steal like tithes and offerings. I'm assuming that's what it was. That's not cool. So I'm not making apologies for her either. Okay, I don't know these people. If I knew them, I'd tell you because I do know a lot of local politicians in a lot of the areas. People you would not even think that I know because I don't talk about it. But if I knew them, I would fully disclose that, and I'd probably try to have them on the show if they'd be willing to do it. So she submitted this letter to everybody apparently because it hit the wire. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, she said. I am publicly admitting that I took funds from the Presbyterian Church over an extended period. That's probably years. That's tough. That's tough. I know people who have gotten involved in these things where they start embezzling a little bit here and there because they have something they need to cover and they don't have the funds for it. And then it just becomes a rolling snowball because they have to try to keep cooking books, right? And then the temptation is there because they keep getting away with it. I don't know if that's what happened here, or she could be just a lunatic stealing money and she's a crook, right? There's that. I'm just being fair, and that she couldn't help herself. Because of this, on September the 11th, my birthday, I tried to end my life. I was so filled with guilt, shame, and grief that I experienced a mental health crisis that made suicide seem to be the best solution. I would think the best solution would be not to write this letter and give it to the LA Times, but apparently that was on the table. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That just made it better. I honestly think if she hadn't sent this fucking letter out, this would not have been a story this big. Now, with the internet, everything becomes big. But, and victims are going to come out. People are probably going to say, well, she stole from me. It is what it is. But anyway, so she said she had a mental health crisis. She thought that suicide is the solution. It was shout out to Ozzy. It was only by the grace of God that I failed. Okay, so apparently this was such a good attempt that it was a miracle she didn't complete it. She wasn't hospitalized for it, and that would have made the news unless it got covered up in that little town, which could totally be. So she said, since then, for my safety, I've spent 18 days in a mental health facility. She was locked down. 18 days is a long time. I used to work in psych health, and maybe you know this too. A lot of you do. It's expensive to be in psych for one day. Overnight's expensive. It's like $6,000 or some shit. It's crazy money. So for her to be in a mental health facility that long, she was either paying for it herself or her insurance, deemed that she was suicidal and they're picking up the tab or whatever, or she was maybe stuck in their county. If she was stuck in county mental health, they get you out quicker. Like she's not a threat to others. There's that. So I'm just giving you a little insight that that's a long time to be in psych. It is. And I'm now taking medicine as well as being in an intense all day, everyday group and into all day, everyday group individual counseling sessions. I don't know if that's a real thing or it exists. That's odd to me. Just being real. My husband, she said, children and extended family members and close friends were in shock and extreme anguish as they found out I'd almost succeeded. That's a little self-serving, but I can appreciate it. I think that's a little self-serving. Um, no one had any. I'm just being honest. No one had any idea what I had done to the church. Well, I would. Well, let's just say if you're stealing from a church for an extended period of time, so any business when you're embezzling, you're gonna be caught. Most cases, maybe after the fact, and usually when you think you're gonna get caught, that's when you start to do the end game. I don't know. I'm assuming. I think I'll just take her as her word, but that just sounds like a little preposterous to me that she would go to that lengths, but nobody knew, right? Because she was that guilty. But it's possible. I had not been found out. In effect, I turned myself in. You said that already. I had prepared a list of account numbers and passwords that I provided to the account numbers. Oh my God. What the hell? She had more than one account? Oh my God. First of all, okay, how do you have more than one bank account that you're hiding? And second of all, because you have to be, that money, obviously, like that's hidden income. So I don't know if that's tax evasion because you stole it, But there's that. And then how does the church, number one, if the church is making that much money, you have individual accounts you're stealing from them. How do they not know they're missing that much money? And who's giving all that money? They must have some old money out there, some people that just like, boom, here you go. So she said, while I was in the hospital, so that my actions could be more easily discovered. It's a weird letter. I am finding out throughout my counseling sessions, reasons why I would do something so horrible, but they are in no way an excuse for my actions. This is getting weird. Okay. Oh, this is long. Oh, wow. This is long. Wow. Okay. This is long. All right. So I don't want to take up the whole show reading this, but let's just jump through it. And if you want to read it, it's, go to the Tahoe Daily Tribune and or Google it. I'm sure you'll find the letter. No, I got to tell you, this is an epic fail. This is, you know, and in fact, this is all admissible as evidence. Like, so she's either making a deal, like, so what this could be is she's confessing this so that there is no like need for a trial per se or discovery. Sounds like she's trying to make sure that they don't go farther and maybe just give her a deal and not over investigate this. Or maybe she's just this kind of person that is this egotistical that she has to write this kind of a big apology letter. It's too much. She should have called me. I would have said, "Keep it simple, baby." That blurb right there, I thought that was it. I didn't know it was this big. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching. Again, my name is Jason J. Daniel. We're talking about Tamara Wallace. Is that Tamara Wallace who definitely has got some issues? She's stealing money from a mayor of Lake Tahoe, and we'll get to the whole political side of it, but I just want to give you the story here. So she said my guilt came from taking the funds from the church that individually and as a group embraced me. I showed love. They showed me love. She was a church administrator. Okay, so that means she had absolute power, and they didn't question her. That is, this person obviously is somebody that needs to. Let me just tell you this: they have to recall her, or she has to resign. There's and Lake Tahoe people, give me a call. I know a lot of good people that'll help you recall her. I've done it. All my friends are recallers. I got friends who recall you. I got friends in high places. They'll recall your ass. Now, she should definitely step down. Now, it sounds like to me she's doing all this to try to keep political power. And isn't it crazy? And this is kind of where we're going to go with this is people that get elected, they're either really fucked up or they get really fucked up. And it's a real problem. And this is, I mean, since time immemorial, but it's something that now with the internet and the ability to see like every moment of some of these people's lives because they document it. And then they're also going to be willing to document their failings. It's really important that we learn as a society, communities, and not vote for these people. It's really hard to see through the red flags, read through the lines. But as we educate ourselves and we do these talks, we can eventually see through the line, see through the cracks, right? And I'll tell you this, I've been doing this for years. I've kept track of politics for years and years. I've been podcasting for 10 years over a period of time, like off and on more, I'm over 200 shows, right? And I also had a blog that was very popular in Sacramento County, and I covered local politics for years. I had a website that was covering state politics that crashed during the economy in '08. I've done a lot of stuff with this. I've done blogs and live TV and interviewed very, very well-known politicians, famous politicians in California. These are things I've done in the past. So through all this experience, I'm not trying to blow my own horn, but through all this experience, you see things and learn things about politicians. And this is why I do this, because I want people to see it kind of through my vision. Like I'm trying to coach folks and say, like, look at this, look at that, read between the lines, human nature. Like they may say this, but what do their actions show you? So she says here, in my mind, I found justification, such as my deceased son's 3 children. Oh, I see. Her son died and there's 3 children. Got it. So she said she was using the money to take care of them. The weight of what I've done was so unbearable. I deceived myself into the belief suicide would be to protect my husband. Well, he's not going to jail for you, so it's a little much. I mean, but I'm not judging. Suicide's never the answer. I don't want to make it seem like there's a threshold. It's never the answer. That when you're at that place, seek help. That's never an answer. Never, ever, ever. There's no you can, she can overcome this. Now, this is gonna be hard for her, and she's jumping in. Whoever gave her this advice said, go all out, let's just get it out right now, make a thing of it, which I'm not sure if it's good advice, but whatever. There's no reason for it. So I feel for her. She said she just had her 24th anniversary, and also suicide. A lot of people say it's a selfish act. So take that how you want to take it. Again, don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you what people think. Um, so she said she was worried about her family, but she thought she'd check out. So she was stealing money for her family. Lord and Savior Jesus Christ wants to forgive me. Okay, so I could not fathom my husband would forgive me and stand by me. Okay, maybe their marriage is super rocky. I'm just speculating. That's when you have a lot going on, your marriage is rocky, or you're looking at maybe jail time, which she totally is, unless she gets a sweetheart deal, which she shouldn't. I mean, you can't do this you can't, she clearly has a criminal mind. She clearly took on the justifications to steal from, like, tithes and offerings from people like that. That money goes to help people. It goes to help the church. Like, you're stealing from the church. It's dark. And plus, she's probably, I don't know who in that town would trust her. She's probably very popular. She's the mayor, and she's in the church seems like it's popping, right? They're probably making enough money that they're not missing it, clearly, which is weird, but I'm sure they started to figure it out. So she thought her husband would not stand by her, and she said Jesus paid the price for her sins, but she needed to check out. So she had memories. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. So she's saying, hold on now. From 4 years old to 16. Okay. So oh, wow. Okay. So she's talking about her personal abuse. I'm not going to read that because I don't want to, that's her story. And, it's terrible. That's terrible. Looks like she went through some abuse. The grief I have, okay, for her father. So she's had a lot of tragedy here. Her father died, and then unfortunately, that's terrible. Her son died from fentanyl. My heart goes out to her and the family. That's so terrible. Oldest son's a cancer survivor. He lost his leg and he's been sick. All right, so this poor lady. Okay, so after reading this letter, my heart goes out to her. She's got a lot of tragedy and she's been through a lot. But you can't steal from people, man. That is kind of what San Francisco and Seattle mayor and Chicago mayor and people, LA mayor, they're cool. If you just say I have all these bad things that happen, that's why I steal, then they're like, cool, you get back on the streets. I'm not taking away she had a lot of bad things happen to her, but you know what, baby, a lot of people do, and they're not stealing from churches, and they're not, wasting council time. This is, first of all, you're not fit. Clearly, you're not fit to be the mayor. You're just not fit. You're disqualified. Check out. Sit down. There's part of the job description is to not steal from people and to not be, so full of baggage that if you commit a crime, you're going to fall back on that and say, well, here's my baggage, so can I get out of jail free card? I'm not saying that's what she's doing, but I'm just trying to be real because there's no excuse for this. There isn't. So then she said, this is why I chose September the 11th. She talks about Russia, Pentagon. Okay. When did she write this letter? Before or after treatment? This getting conspiracies. Okay. You guys can read that yourself. And then she said, oh, this is interesting. Oh, okay. Here's the breakdown. So here's my speculation. I think that she talked to the DA. She's already working the deal out. So she dropped the letter, probably to preempt the charges and hopefully to bring the public to her sympathies, right? And then the public will say, you can stay in office until you're indicted. And in fact, she hasn't been indicted. She outed herself. They have to investigate this. Let's say they come back and say it's not as bad as she made it out to be. This could get really interesting because I have to say, I've seen some mea culpa letters in my time, but never to this extent. I mean, probably it's happened in local politics, in California or, in Tahoe or California, Nevada line, whatever. But I've never seen this kind of rambling letter. So she says, okay, so she's got foster children. Okay, got it. So she's making all sorts of excuses, whether that's legitimate or not. you make the call. So she says, I've been reaching out to the church through the pastor. I have not heard back yet. Okay. All right. Well, they're sticking to the guns. They're like, oh, really? Okay. I've not heard back yet, other than hearing secondhand the church may seek charges. What do you mean they may? Everybody needs to seek charges. You're a criminal, dude. Like, if you did this, you gotta whatever the year or two in jail, like whatever. Plus, the public trust. This is special circumstances. Like, if you're the church administrator and you're also the mayor, there's a lot of trust that people put in you, and you took advantage of that. Now, we all make mistakes, but it's just, I don't know. Okay. I've heard someone told the Tribune that they now have a reporter trying to get a story. I'm not sure which newspaper that is. Oh, I guess maybe it's this one, Tahoe Daily Tribune. Here it is. Rather than be like many public servants and individuals who try to lie, hide, and delay the consequences of something they have done, well, I think you are trying to delay the consequences by creating this like narrative that's admissible as evidence, by the way, which is dumb as fuck. I mean, yes, I want her to be held accountable, but I mean, there's also a sense of like you do have, your own, right to not incriminate yourself, which is kind of okay. So I'm taking a different path. I'm telling the truth. I'm done. No reason I should have lived that day other than the still purpose. So she's really trying to go to the other side. Sounds like she's really obsessed with the fact that she didn't kill herself and she now feels like she has to face the consequences. Or she tried to kill herself, but it didn't work. I believe that it will be to pay a price for what I've done, including paying back every cent I've taken. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't that much money if she thinks she can bring it back. Most important is that I will use the experience. But if it wasn't that much money, why would you try to kill yourself? Most important is that I will use these experiences to help stop others. Okay. I'm sorry. Now it's getting preposterous. The top of the letter, I was feeling for her. The bottom of the letter, you're fucking losing me now. Now you're going to be a champion of the good. Now because you got caught and you know how it works, you can help bring strength to others so they don't do this. Come on, man. You just stop stealing shit and resign. Most important, this is all ultimately so they don't call for her to resign or recall her. She's very obsessed with being the mayor. The one thing she has not admitted in this letter, at least, it's a lot of words. The one thing she hasn't made a thing of is breaking the trust of the people. She hasn't mentioned I'm the mayor at all. I'm not seeing this. She's not apologizing to the people. Then she says, I want to thank my husband who had his wedding vows and upheld them. I'm writing this letter. I told Dwayne, I'm not sure who that is, maybe the husband. I feel vulnerable. God bless you all. God bless you, everyone. Give the money back. How about this? Instead of the passwords and the account numbers, just give the money back. One, and that's probably how she'll get some restitution. Maybe she was just holding it, didn't spend a lot of it. I'm sorry, she'll get some resolution and maybe a restitution that's not jail. She's clearly trying to avoid two things: the slam and being recalled or resigning. God, it blows my mind. I mean, I shouldn't. It blows my mind that still to this day, 2025, we have politicians who steal, lie, create all sorts of chaos in their lives, have the most fucked up life, and then want to make excuses, but then just please don't recall me. Please don't make me not have this job. Please keep me as the mayor or the council person or the AG. Keep me the governor. Keep me here, guys. I mean, it's everything. It's just, it's a section of humanity that I still have a hard time grasping, putting my mind around, that the hold on power is so intoxicating. It's like Schmiegel, my precious. It's so intoxicating that you can steal, you can be looking at charges, you can try to kill yourself, and you can out yourself for being a scoundrel, but you still don't want to resign. but you shouldn't have to resign, right? Like, she can steal church money, steal from Jesus. Now, if you believe that the money, when it goes to God, it's God's money. A lot of people believe that. They believe, okay, I'm going to put money in the offering and it's God's money. Okay. And then God does what he wants to do with it. But God did not expect it to go into her bank account. And it doesn't matter if she's trying to help the children. I appreciate that. But here's kind of how I feel. If you have all these children you got to take care of, you got all these things going on, don't be the mayor. Don't be the mayor, and focus on your job, being the church administrator and whatever you do, and step down and focus on your family. Clearly she had serious family problems. I'm sure that's all verifiable. Again, I don't know this person, just reading an article. So you have to sometimes go, okay, allegedly it has to be verified. People write anything to get out of trouble. But clearly she's in a lot of trouble because that letter was super open and it had a lot of ways that you could rationalize what she did. But it always blows my mind, man. I mean, it's, people do anything for power and political power. And when they get it, it's so intoxicating. I have to tell you, when you're a nobody, when you're a person nobody cares about, got to fix my thing here. Here we go. When maybe I could just move this. When you're a person that no one really cares about, and you're like, somebody that you want, you're an attention hog, and then you get, you get into politics, you start to get attention. Right now, you can get so much attention in politics. Like I'm talking about her. I don't even know her. I'm talking about her, and then I'll talk about this other guy who got arrested beating down somebody in like a restaurant. These are politicians. These are leaders. Like we're losing the point here that it's not about we're gonna give you power and you should just do whatever you want with it. It's just preposterous. It's we are trusting you to do the right thing because that's how our democracy, we are a representative government. We have smaller local governments. This is how we do this. We have to trust you. You're the one person we chose. And it's easy for the one person that we choose to be the mayor to get really wrapped up in the power and the just the being wanted, right? They're talking to you all the time, right? They're like, they're you're the minute you say something, it's in the paper. City council is always covered. Your name's in the paper. Your name's on the internet. People see you at the grocery store. You get free stuff. They buy you lunch. They buy you coffee. People bring their problems to you and act like you can solve them. And you have more problems than them. Do you realize these people running these councils have more problems than you? They have more problems than you, and then you are stuck having to trust them to solve the problems of the city, and they just can't solve their own problems. So that's crazy, man. So we'll go back to the other article and continue that because this is a really great article written by these cats here. Again, if you're just joining me, Jason J. Daniels Show, afternoon edition. We'll go a few more minutes here. We're just talking about this Lake Tahoe thing. It's crazy, man. So Wallace, she unburdened herself in the letter. We just read the letter. It's unclear now how much money she pilfered from the church, but she said it has been undetected. The scheme has no impact on city coffers, she claimed. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't think of that. Like, what's going on with politics with her? Is she concerned that bribes might come out? I'm just saying because, it's one thing to steal money from a church, embezzlement, that's different. And usually when people are doing this on a regular basis, they've looked at the laws and they've already like worked out, okay, if this goes bad, this is the letter that, it sounds like she had a lot of this already pre-planned in her head or whatever to do it. Or she also has an attorney that's saying, let's do this and I'll work with the DA and we'll get you a sweet deal and you can maybe stay in office because it's, people love you, blah, blah, blah. Maybe the big donors in the town have told her, apologize and we forgive you. So there's a lot more to this letter than just, I'm trying to unburden myself. Nobody does that without some sort of incentive. The truth is, no one does anything without an incentive. So you got to look at what is her incentive. I don't believe she was filled with guilt, shame, and grief because of the money she took. I believe she's filled with grief, shame, and guilt, shame, and grief because possibly something else is coming down the pike. But here's what I was about to say earlier is there's a difference between being arrested for embezzling as like a private citizen versus taking bribes or stealing from the city. That's a whole nother level of charges, right? That goes state. And if it's even worse than that, DOJ, like this, I'm not trying to overstate this, but this could, there could be more to it, right? And the way she's reacting and outing herself makes me seem like, okay, makes it feel like to me that if you put it all out there to do, to see, okay, here's this, that, okay, cool, no investigation, right? It could be that she's like trying to get them to keep from investigating her activities in the city, which that's the first thing I would do. Like, okay, what have you been doing in legislation? And in the investigation, I'd be interviewing anybody that had any kind of legislation that she was like the vote on, right? Or that she championed, right? Did she help develop? Tahoe has development up there. They also have a lot of environmental things going on, gambling. There was rumors back in the day the mob ran a lot of Tahoe. So, I mean, that was back in the day. So there could be some dark, nefarious things that she was involved in. Who knows? It's just interesting that she went Aussie, suicide solution, and she thought that was going to be the out, but that didn't work. I'm interested. She hasn't mentioned how she tried, so it's interesting to me. Now, she says she's been 18 days in a mental health facility, but she's still in intense all-day group sessions, so kind of lost on that. Now, here's the letter. Okay, here's another copy of the letter if you want to read it. Let's see here. Okay, so she's in El Dorado County, which was interesting to me. I was wondering. So the funds she embezzled have not damaged the city financially, and the matter is being investigated by the district attorney's office. Now, Juarez, again, is the city representative. It's not the DA saying what they're doing. This is what the city said the DA is doing, which is, to me, something you can never believe, right? When one government official says another government official is doing something, especially when these offices are not connected and they're adversarial, I don't believe it. So what I think is going on, it's a heavier investigation. I think this is going to turn into a bigger deal. In fact, the LA Times covered it, and that indicates to me they have connections everywhere. And if an LA Times reporter calls, they get the scoop, right? So that indicates to me that maybe there's something bigger going on here. So then there's Bass. Okay, so who's Bass? Let's talk about Bass here. All right, this is the Scarecrow here. So the Scarecrow is we got to look at my there we go. Okay. He is one of the 5 council members with her. He's also the mayor pro tem. So that means if she's not available, mayoral actions fall to him. And if she resigns, then he would become the de facto mayor, but they would be short a vote on the council. So whether she's recalled or resigns, they're going to need to have a new election. And that would cost money. So this chick is costing everybody money. That's really the bottom line here. She's stealing from the church. She's obviously now going to, have legal bills. The city the city now has to pay for an investigation. Their attorney, they're going to be paying for attorney bills already. And then now they're going to have to probably have a special election unless they just like the corruption and they let it go. Who knows? I mean, she felt comfortable doing it. Maybe that could be a thing. So there's going to be a lot of money spent here on her law breaking. So we have to hold her accountable and that's taxpayer money. The more that these politicians do these terrible things that affect the taxpayers and affect the process, the more you guys are paying out of pocket out there in Tahoe. So let's talk about this guy, Bass. Okay, so Bass, he was arrested on the 26th of September. Okay, around 1 a.m. So this information just came out, but maybe it wasn't really important until she got in. She, outed herself. He was in a bar at 1 a.m. in a restaurant, State Line, Nevada. So he was arrested in Nevada on misdemeanor charges of assault, trespassing, and threats harassment, according to the sheriff's department. Okay, so here you go, Lake Tahoe. You've got, so you've got 5. So 2 out of your 5 council members are just fucking crooks. And they're well, I won't call him a crook. He's just a violent guy. So in most places, this would be you're resigning. You're going to be recalled. One arrest, right? Now, innocent until proven guilty. But I'm assuming that there's probably some good reason to arrest him. We'll see if they asked him if there's a statement on him. So he was arrested assault, trespassing, and threats and harassment. That's all, and they're all misdemeanors. So, okay, not a felony. That's a different story. So, at least, and the bottom line is, it sounds like nobody got hurt. Well, let's see here. Okay, deputies were summoned to Alex Work. Maybe that's the I'm sorry, Ale Works. That's the name of the bar, Ale Works. Around midnight. That's weird. After Bass got into a confrontation with an employee, according to KRNV in Reno. Okay, so he was actually in Reno. Bass complained that he had been kicked and threatened and that he was going to have people kill. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. Kill the employee of the establishment, which he had previously, from which he had previously been banned. Okay. So there's video. Videos, however, led the deputies to conclude Bass was the aggressor, the TV station reported. He's booked in the jail and released later. So the DA filed misdemeanor trespassing harassment charges against the Scarecrow. Obviously, Bass didn't tell. He's at least he's smarter than the mayor. He's not saying he did it. He is not giving up his constitutional rights to remain silent. So South Lake Talk, David Jenkins, another council now. All right, so he's the guy responding. Clearly, he's like, all right, he's taking advantage of this. All right, just saying. He says the incidents were a surprise to us all, and the news is still sinking in. Of course, you're not surprised. People that do this have indicators. Now, she might have been a really good con artist, but this guy had already been into altercations and had been banned from a bar in Reno. I mean, come on. Everybody knows the gossip, right? Especially since he's on the council, and he clearly has issues with, drinking and scrapping in bars, which fine. He's a tough guy. Cool. But Wolverine, you got to chill this shit out. You're a leader in the city, man, but maybe that doesn't matter. And he's in another town raising hell. So David is telling us something we don't believe. And in an email, he says government service continues to operate under professional management and all services remain intact and unaffected by recent events. Okay. All right. Grok wrote that. AI wrote that. The city said it's aware of the investigation against. Okay, if it's aware, since both city leaders remain in office, the October 21 council meeting could be ... Interesting. Sorry. I apologize. I was coughing. It probably didn't sound good. If the city keeps its usual procedure, everybody, a live stream will be on YouTube. You know what? I might just live stream that myself. I might just do some commentary on that. And that should be interesting. Now, it won't come up into a public comment because when it comes to these things, the cities, they officially do like official business, and then the public will come up and start just talking shit to them, which is pretty crazy. All right, so hey, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Actually, one other thing, I think let's look at some other articles and we'll wrap this. Because I have some things going on, but I did want to jump on and say what's up and talk about Lake Tahoe polls gone wild. If you're just joining me, my name is Jason J. Daniel. It's the Jason J. Daniel Show. I talk politics, true crime, stuff like that. I just could not help myself. This story was just too crazy. So if you're joining me late, you can back up the stream. I've set it up so you can do that, which I appreciate that. Mayor. So we had the mayor of Lake Tahoe. Tamara Wallace was stealing church money for a period of time, according to her. She tried to kill herself, according to her, because of the guilt and the shame and also a lot of personal problems and her marriage and all these things. And, she lost a family member, a lot of depression. She went into a psych ward for 18 days. I think she's indicating she's now still there in therapy. That's confusing. But she released like a 3-page letter with all this shit in it about why she shouldn't go to jail and why she should still be the mayor. Keep in mind, I read most of that letter to you. It's a long letter. And not one spot in that letter did she say she was sorry to the citizens. She's a mayor. She let everyone down and that she should not be mayor anymore. In fact, she didn't mention politics at all. She did not mention that because she doesn't want to leave. She doesn't think she needs to leave. And unless she resigns by October 21, there's plenty of time to resign. And why do city council, why do they take so long to meet? That's interesting to me. Okay, maybe they're on a break or something. I'll look into that, I suppose. It is interesting to me because October the 21st, I definitely want to try to stream that. I think that's going to be fun. We'll see. But so that's what she did. She's now being investigated by the DA. Okay. And who knows if she was caught up in any shenanigans with her job at the city. She was the city administrator. I'm sorry, she was the church administrator, stealing money from the church, had multiple accounts. She's thrown herself on the mercy of the public and the church. Well, not the voters, the just the general public. And then this guy, the mayor pro tem, Cody Bass, who's like the second in power there, he's brawling in bars and allegedly threatening to kill people. Okay. Now, I haven't looked up. I know what you're thinking. Is it a Democrat? Are they Democrats? I don't know. I haven't looked up their political affiliations. I'm not going to do it live because that might take. I did look it up a little bit. I mean, I could try to see. Let me see here. Political. Let me see if I can pull this up. Political party. Now, vote. What is it? Votepedia should have it. Let's see here. Political party. Man, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Wow. Oh, and here's a cool mugshot here of the other guy. Let's see here. Political party affiliation. Let's see here. Lake Tahoe website, California local. She ran for board of supervisors. She's done a lot of campaign disclosures. Here we go. There's a part. Let's see if her party affiliation is here. Let's see here. Let me. Okay, let's jump to this. Let me. You should see this. So let's jump to this. Let's share this. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find her party affiliation. Okay, this is a campaign disclosures page. Let's see here. Okay. So we've got campaign disclosures. Okay, this is City of South Lake Tahoe. So it's South Lake Tahoe. Sorry, I'm calling it Lake Tahoe. It's South Lake Tahoe. Okay, city government. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know if they'll have her affiliation on that, but okay, let's see here. Her term expires in 2026. It doesn't say her party affiliation. Let's see here. Yeah, I tried to pull it up. It's not coming. It's not. Okay, here's another. Let's see here. This is California local. Let me take this off here. There we go. California local. This is like some sort of a local website. There she is. There's her number if you guys want to call her. See how she's doing. All right, so here's her email if you want to call her. Let's see here. Mother of 5, Lake Tahoe, 20-year Lake Tahoe resident. Here's her info. Elected in 18. So she's a swamp creature. And when people are elected, they've been in office for more than 5 years. They never want to get out. She's also had some other jobs, Chamber of Commerce. Okay, so that's not absolutely helpful. Yeah, this is interesting. I'll have to dig a little deeper on her party affiliation. This is NPR said. Okay, this is an interesting article from NPR. They are saying, let's see here. NPR is saying, here we go, leadership crisis. Well, no kidding. Leadership turmoil. Mayor admits embezzlement and mayor pro tem faces misdemeanor charges. All right, so this is, I got to tell you though, I kind of dig this photo shoot. He's very tall. He's very scarecrowy. But he clearly has got to stop telling people he wants to kill them. All right, so they look happier days. So this is just kind of a breakdown of the letter, and he was arrested. Not a lot on that. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of going through here. But it's kind of I'd hit the LA Times, but it's kind of the same stuff. Let's see here. Let me try one more thing here. Let's see here. San Francisco. Everybody's talking about it. San Francisco Gate. Let's see here. Q&A. Candidate. League of Women. Okay, League of Women's Voters Candidate Forum. Okay, but this is nothing. All right, so I know this is kind of getting boring. All right, so sorry about that, guys. Okay, well, so I did do my best. Couldn't find her party affiliation, but you guys let me know. So we'll wrap, but yeah. So if you're out there in that area, I'll be keeping track of it. Keep me posted. See if I can get some interviews on this. That would be interesting. I'll reach out to some people. Um, but yeah, so that's look for that story to become, I think, even more wild. It just there's too many things that smell like fire to me, right? And the letter, when I read that letter, I'm like, this letter has all sorts of cover up in it, or she just could be that kind of person where it's all about her and she wants to talk about why she did things. But it's interesting. You cannot judge a book by its cover. When you look at her, she looks like a nice, grandma kind of person, right? Bake you some cookies and shit and go to church with you. But she's breaking the laws of the Lord. I don't know about stealing church money. There's some things I think, there's just some things I feel like you just don't do. And karma comes back to haunt you. I think stealing from a church is one of those things. But there you go. So thanks for watching, guys. I need to. I'm interested. I'm going to figure out the party of affiliation, and I'll post it on X. Speaking of that, thanks for following, guys. Do me a very huge favor. Really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're watching on Rumble. I'd appreciate you subscribing. If you're on X, I appreciate a like and a reshare. It does a lot. This is a very interesting story. I think people might want to dig into this. And if you think this is interesting, please share it. Subscribe on YouTube. Obviously, really good to do. And also send me your comments and suggestions. I do sports on TikTok. I have this podcast where I do politics and true crime and sports sometimes here as well. I have a few sports interviews I'm working on. And I like to do interviews as well. So check it out and check out my archive. And Rumble, again, I want to say thank you to the Rumble crowd. If you're watching on Rumble, please subscribe and thank you for watching my videos and provide feedback. I appreciate that. I read the comments. I appreciate it. The likes, I appreciate it. I'm new to Rumble, but my subscriptions to Rumble have grown 60 in the last 30 days. So thank you. Every one of you counts, and I appreciate every one of you watching. So anyway, I'll let you guys go. Have a great day. And again, thanks for watching the Jason J. Daniels Show. God bless you. Go with God. Stay safe. If you're a conservative, keep your head on a swivel. It's getting dangerous out there for conservatives, but never back down, man. Be proud to be an American, no matter what party you're affiliated with. And we all should be able to speak in the streets and have free speech and support everyone. Support Democrats, support Republicans, support independent-minded people. Dialogue is important, and that's why I do what I do. We have to talk to each other. That's what's important in this world. God bless you guys. Take care. Bye now.